Ooh, we on, boy.
We on?
We on, you fucking mad bastard.
Alright.
Exactly.
I'll tell you.
Tell me you're gonna tell them.
Hello everyone. It's good to have Mick Rooney back. I've been doing my podcast singly, and I'm still. I don't want to confuse the. No, I don't want to confuse the viewer. I'm still doing my
Daily
2 or 3 daily ones, maybe 4. Depends on what I want to do. I'm still going to do solo. Once a week you come on, once a fortnight you come on, and we'll just let it rip like this. All right, let's get into it. Obviously, you have to ask me the questions. It's the way it goes.
Yeah, I got question number 1
Tell
from
me.
a lot of fans. It's why have you been doing by yourself and not with Mick Rooney? Young mad
Because
bastard.
you're being too busy, brother.
Exactly.
I want to tell them all.
Tell them, you're gonna just tell them now. Just tell them now because it's the start of the video.
Yeah.
They don't know.
I want to tell you all exactly means. In the shop, we work in the butcher shop. Customers come in. Keep in mind, I've got makeup on my face. I'm dressed appropriately. No one knows who I am. But at work, I'm Marky Mark. I'm not a bikie, I'm not a bikie, but I'm not an ex-bikie or whatever. I'm just me at work. Do you know what I mean? Even though I'm being serious, but hang on a sec.
You're the funniest cut at work, but
Yeah, even though I'm not a bikie anymore, I still think people are gonna still judge me. Maybe they won't. Maybe Australia's built on reform and giving someone a fair go. So maybe it's my paranoia, my insecurities. I always wear makeup and cover up who I really am underneath. It's just since I left the bikies, I'm trying my best to engage with normal community, try my best to work and do all that. But the moral of the story was back to what I was saying. Customers come into work and they say, "Hey Mark, is that grass fed you're selling back there?" And I turn around and say, "Exactly." So that's the joke between me and him. So yeah, long story short, that's what I always say to the customer, and that's my famous saying at work. Every time Mick Rooney says, "Right, is this, that, that?" I'm like, "Exactly."
oh shit, let's get into it.
Let's get into it, sweetheart.
So there's a few people want to know.
What do they want to know, mate? You ask the question, I'll answer the question, dear.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think I'm getting the shit every second line now. It's gonna be exactly.
Let's go.
Nah. Juvie, standard jail, so adult jail, I guess.
What's the difference?
What's the difference? Is there drama in juvie like there is in main jails? What's the difference from start to finish? Gangs, nationalities, all that kind of stuff.
It's all the same. Back in my time.
Right.
Same politics, same bullshit, but there's no stadiums. Keep in mind, there's no difference with your mindset between juvie and adult. Your first adult who like 18, 19, I'll tell you example. You're still hot-headed, still hot-blooded. So the juvie is just like adult. There's a lot of 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds in there. They haven't been moved on to, back in my day, they wouldn't get moved on straight away. So the juvie had heaps of 18-year-olds in there. So they had to, by the time I got there,
Yeah.
it was already like a gang environment. But in juvie, it's different to adult. Juvies, each
gangs
race,
or nationalities?
nationalities.
Yeah.
What do I say gangs? I say nationalities. So
Okay.
in adult, the only difference with juvie and adult, in adult, nationalities team up and become a force, one fist.
Yeah.
In juvie, it's each nationality to their own. So if you don't
So
have a
Levo
fight-
stay together, the Aboriginals
Yeah.
stay together, Islanders stay
that's
together.
how it was in my day. I don't know about now. In my day, it used to be.
Yeah.
And then when I got to Cobham, I didn't take over the Lebos, but I was a big boy. I knew how to throw them. There was a few good Lebanese boys there. We just had a good crew and just fucking smacked it out with anyone on to smack it out. Doesn't matter who the fuck you are. I introduced in the juvie knives. I'll tell you straight out. I put that mentality in there. Just fucking get a knife, bro. Who gives a fuck? And made knives in that in juvie and started teaching the boys. Bro, we're never going to beat these. Some of these cunts are fucking 120 kilos. You're fucking 60 kilos, brother. Pull a fucking knife. That's what I used to say to the boys. So I was giving them a bit of structure in there. Since I was a kid, I always had that mindset. Gang, structure, get ready to war, fucking let's go. So yeah, so it's basically just as bad as fucking adult. Even, it's more fights in juvie than there is adult. In juvie, there's a punch up every fucking day. Every day the officers you go one-on-one.
Are the officers in on it as well?
Yeah, the officers are in on it.
So they back their races. For instance, if there's a Lebanese screw,
No.
he's going to back the Lebanese. What is it? More.
They just want you to fucking fight.
So they want you to actually.
Yeah, all the officers back and carry on. I got tipped to carry on. So I held a hostage at Cobham, pulled a knife out, held the basketball court down. Management will fucking go through records, you'll see. Police were called to the prison. Police came in there and said, "You're being charged with an outside charge I said, what's that? He said, you've assaulted 3 like other inmates and you've assaulted the staff. And I put a knife to one of the staff's neck because my mate was punching on in the next section. I couldn't get in there. So I put a knife to the staff's neck and said, let me in there. So you get in there so I can help my mate out because my mate was yelling out my name. He just kept yelling my name out, so I knew he was getting pumped by another nationality. Then I got tipped to carry on. And in carry on, there were some good boys there. They're all in the adult system now.
Yeah.
Some staunch cunts. I carry on with some staunch cunts. So I got tipped to carry on, and carry on was pretty bad. Every fucking day was a fight.
Yeah, right.
It's called the cage. So you tell the officer I want to go, they free you in the cage. Carry on was more structured like a prison than Cobham. Cobham was like a boys' home. Carry on was a prison.
Yeah, right.
Uniforms on. It was a fucking prison.
Have you ever been in juvie, or were you in juvie and then had to get moved to adult jail, or were you let out and then when you
I got out and then went to adult.
Okay. So you got out, free on the streets, caught doing something again.
No, not caught doing something.
Then what?
I was always falsely imprisoned. 95% of my charges, I never committed those crimes, brother. You know what I mean? I can count on my hand which ones I committed.
Yeah.
Like assault on my ex-missus many years ago, a robbery charge, and I was vaguely responsible for the manslaughter. Not even, like, I wasn't the one that killed the bloke. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
yeah, right.
and all the other charges, I never committed those crimes. Honest
So
to God.
charges with no convictions.
They charged me 100 times, I always beat it because, brother, God knows I never done the crimes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So go on, ask your next question, sweetheart.
So, obviously, nationalities in juvie.
Yeah.
And you go to adult jail, big boy jail. What are you facing there? You said nationalities again, but you said they team up. Are they teaming up with other crews? Or how's it?
I'll tell you an example.
What's it kind of?
I'll tell you an example. I was aligned with, obviously, Lebanese.
Yeah.
And the Lebanese were aligned with Aboriginals. So the Aboriginals automatically became aligned with us. But I've always been friends with Islanders. And a lot of my friends from the street were at Parkleigh prison. So I didn't break away from my people, but I just, because all the dominant crew there was me, my cousins, my brother, we had heaps of our boys there. So all the stronghold of Parkleigh prison amongst the Lebanese at that time. So all the Islanders that I had grown a bond with automatically tied with me, opened up the gang so you can see my hand. Notorious.
Yeah.
That's basically 95% Islander gang.
Is it really?
Yeah.
And that's a prison gang, wasn't it?
It was a gang
Started
that
in
my
prison.
cousin started.
Yeah.
But
Will you name which cousin or no?
I don't need to name which cousin, everyone knows who it is. So, but it was all Islanders. All my boys were Islanders. There was a few different nationalities, but majority of my boys in jail were Islanders. So yeah.
Strong boys, eh?
Huh?
Strong boys.
I just grew up with them, bro, you know what I mean? So fucking, it's not like I set out, like I've got no problem with Lebos, I love my people. I love all fucking Lebos, but my friends were Islanders, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I've got friends with Aboriginals, I've got friends with
How did you
Asians.
become friends with Islanders? Was it like in
Bro,
the
since I
schools
was a
or?
kid, like,
Yeah.
they're all from my area, Parramatta, Maryland,
Yeah.
like played footy together,
Yeah.
like ran on the streets together, like my friend, and bro, like my cousins, all their bodyguards used to be Islanders,
Yeah.
all their kids and nephews were in prison.
Yeah, wow.
So just teamed up with me, you know what I mean? And my cousins always had heaps of Islanders around them, and I just seen how they were.
Yeah.
And I like the way they are, bro. They stand with you, they back you up, they're family orientated.
Yeah.
So it's not like I went out to just be friends with Islanders. Just the way it was, bro. You know what I mean? All my
That's
boys,
where you grew up around.
majority of my boys were Islanders, yeah.
Yeah, right. There was a comment made about a gentleman named Ralph Quinlan.
He's a heavy duty Aboriginal in
Yeah.
my time.
Yeah, okay.
Staunch as, bro.
No, have you been in jail with him or?
I've been in jail with him, I've seen him go.
Yeah.
Fucking gentleman of a bloke.
Yeah.
I was friends with him the whole time I was in prison.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him since I was out, but in prison I was friends with him, and he's friends with my cousins and all that. And there's a lot of Aboriginals in jail that can fight. Fucking they all can fight.
Yeah.
110% of them can fucking fight. But Ralph stood out because he was big,
Yeah.
built like a fucking ox.
Yeah.
And bro, he was one of the original Aboriginals in the system that, I'm not being racist when I say this, but fought the white man.
Yeah, right.
So in the 80s, the whites used to run the jails.
Yeah.
So Ralph took on the whites and won.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he could fucking fight, bro. Like, staunch as fuck. You asked you that?
There's some random.
It was staunch as now.
Fake profile, I think it was.
How would you know that name?
I don't know.
Like, there's a few.
I'll show you afterwards.
There's a few good Aboriginals. They're all good, but there's a few, like, I'm talking like machines, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you take them into fucking into a shop, into a street.
Yeah.
They'll take on the whole street.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, hard as nails, bro. And they're built like the Rock.
Yeah.
Like, they're in jail and they've got physiques like the Rock, bro. I don't know how the fuck they do it. So these guys stood out. Like, Ralph was a big guy. He could fight for days.
There was a few more questions as well. In jail, obviously, everyone knows you still get drugs, all that kind of shit. Steroids.
More steroids in jail than there is in the street.
Yeah? And is it proper staff? Is it underground? How
Needles, everything.
Yeah.
Proper stuff.
How do they get it in?
Officers.
So they bring it all in?
Yeah, corrupt officers. But I don't know, fucking, yeah.
Probably the go-to really, isn't it?
I don't want to get into all that, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
Just blame it on the officers, bro. He's just like...
It was all the screws. It was all the screws, bro. Who was it exactly?
Governor, bro.
Exactly. I want to ask you something. It's how did the name Woody Toujours get made? How did you become Instagram famous? How does the whole world know about you? I've seen your insights, obviously, with some things that we do with businesses and that. You're getting an average of 4 to 6 million people looking at your profile on a weekly basis. How
everyone has something in life. Some people got fortunate jobs. Some people are fucking good boxers. Some people are good looking. I just stand out more than the average person, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And I was the first ex-bikie, ex-gangster who was from the fucking street, been to every prison, to come out and jump on a podcast and talk. But even before the podcast, I was already well known in this country. Obviously, you know that. You're not fucking stupid, you know, I'm not just talking it up. But I become who I don't know what to call myself, but very well known.
Yeah. Just
over time, bro. Like
a celebrity.
I don't call myself a celebrity. I call myself a famous gangster. Ex-gangster. Exactly.
Yeah, alright. But how, like, I mean, I guess the question...
Sorry, bro, I just started training too. I feel a bit tight.
Yeah?
I've been training for a week now. I haven't trained in a year and a half. I just feel tight. I'm sitting awkward too.
Yeah?
Yeah, what do you want to ask? What else?
It was to do with, like, so obviously you're a well-known character, but how did the media get to know you? Like, there's obviously...
I was convicted of killing the bloke from Fat Pizza Show.
That's how, do you reckon that's how it originated?
Well, I come from the Ibrahim family. The Nomads were one of the biggest crews going around at the time when I was on the streets. I got done for killing the bloke from TV show. I got married to a young lady from a very well-known family. Let's not say the family name.
Yeah.
So all that
generated exposure.
Generated a lot of exposure, but I'd already been known on the streets.
Yeah.
So the moment I got Instagram, it just circled, everyone just started following me.
Yeah.
So it's already well known in the Sydney underworld, and Melbourne, and fucking all the other states. I think I just grew to another level and I don't know, tell you the truth,
it just happened.
It just happened. Like you've been to the Easter show, you said 200 people come take photos.
That's right.
I went to the Easter show without you with Carl, I had 500 people come up to me. You know, I mean, sometimes no one comes up to me.
I reckon that unless people came up to you when I was there, they were scared of me. Exactly.
That's their famous quote.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get macaroni, is it grass fed?
Exactly. We're gonna do one day where I dress up, try and look like you a little bit, right? And you pretend to be me at the front, stand on a crate or something. So you talk.
What the fuck do I need a crate?
Please tell them about the aircon. Please tell them.
I'll tell you what happened. I wanted to see if the aircon was working, so I stood on the chair and stood up, and then I looked to my right. I'm his height. I go, fuck, is that what it looks like on this height? I look at what it looks like.
I love it.
So, and I want you all to understand. I do my podcast and I do all this because I'm bored in life.
Yeah,
I work 7 days a week, brother. I'm only working now because we're renovating and I've got the other shop in it. A few of the shops have been renovated all at the same time. So I'm not physically working, but I actually work hard. You see, I do 7 days a week. I've got no time for friendships. I've got no time for fucking partying. All I do is fucking work. Do you know what I mean? And
I reckon it's a good distraction for you.
Yeah, I don't work because I need the money. I could fucking sit on my ass and my brother would fucking throw me 2-3 grand a week to live. I work because...
Did I tell you that I've actually
enjoy
got Toujours in my bloodline too?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cheers, biggies.
Exactly. Cheers. Cheers. No, but I was just saying that because I was hoping Simon would throw me a couple of people too.
Honest to God, like, I've become a podcast identity, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Due to being bored. I'm not on the streets. I'm not involved in gang activity. I'm not a member of any gang. I'm not a member of any crew. My life was boring, bro. So I thought, put a camera there, jump on, start videotaping myself, and it kicked off. This podcast channel was just starting to regrow. My other one was fucking cranking. I was getting massive.
I reckon this one's growing a bit better.
It started before I lost the other channel. The other channel was going amazing. This one's going good too. End of the day, I can't complain. What God has written for you, you're gonna see.
100%.
But in saying that. Yeah, what else you want to ask me? I've got nothing else to say.
You said you joined the game when you were how old, roughly?
14, 15.
14, 15. Was that Nomads?
Yeah, but I joined the Scorpions when I was fucking, young, bro. 12.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. What were your parents at that age? Were you living with your parents?
My dad left us. My mum was raising us. I moved in with my older cousins.
Yeah.
That's it.
Were you exposed through family or just from you being on the streets?
Bro, my cousin Sam Ibrahim. Google Sam Ibrahim back in the early fucking 90s. You know what I mean? Fuck. Like, I knew how to take a gun apart at the age of 11.
Yeah.
Fully dismantle a Glock, fully dismantle SKS, fully dismantle any pistol, anything. Oh, not every pistol, sorry. It was mainly the 45. That was his favourite. That's his bodyguard used to carry. I'm talking I was 11 years old, I'm 37. You're talking about fucking a long time ago, but I used to always go under his bed, grab his gun out, wipe it down, dismantle, take the fucking chamber out.
So it was like a fun thing for you to do?
Yeah.
Without realising the seriousness of what you're holding?
I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I grew up from a young age looking up to one of the baddest gangsters that Sydney ever seen. In his fucking time, he was the baddest gangster around. And that was my role model.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, forget about all the other fucking members of the family. Sam was the fucking man back in my day, brother.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that was my role model.
Yeah.
He got me into this life and fucking, yeah. But I was always destined to be back on anyway, to tell you the truth. I was a fucking bad cuss as a kid. I've always been a bad person.
Yeah.
Not a bad person, I've always been a rule breaker. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And always been a horny cunt.
He's fucking sexual deviant.
Yeah, you know? But from where I came to now, I wouldn't change anything in life, alright? 100%.
Never ever? Because I've got to say
you
something.
can't change the past. So the way I deal with it, I focus on the future. But the last 2 years of my life has been an honest man. I work, I don't fucking get involved in anything.
If there's one thing I can say, obviously, we're obviously intertwined with businesses and things like that. But before I met, I guess not before I met you, I guess you would say. Before we started both kind of really intertwining our lives together, in that distant relationship, you already had your businesses, I had my businesses, we've come together, we've merged, we're growing even further, yeah? But what you know in the business world, which no one else sees, yeah, comes from, I think, a lot of street smarts and everything. I think it definitely helped you for your businesses. But what I'm saying is, would you not have thought that a young Woody Toujours would sit there and still know the same things that he knows now and could have done it at an earlier stage and created even more wealth?
Nah.
So you had to walk the path you walked.
I had to walk the path.
And go through where you had to go to get to where you are now.
I'll tell you an example, yeah? I'm going to tell them what happened with me and you a few weeks ago at that park. I'll tell the story. I'm going to tell the story for how it was, how I almost forced back to the street life. If it would have turned out the way it could have turned out, as you were there, you see firsthand how dangerous city can get. I'm going to let everyone understand. I never seen anyone with guns. I never seen them. They never pulled out a gun on me. I want to make this clear to the camera. But I want to explain what happened so they can understand, and you see firsthand how it could have got to be ugly. I'm going to look at you because I hate turning my neck's sore.
Too much gym, bro.
You see that day, that night when I got lured to that park to talk about business, legitimate businesses, the shop fitters. I never seen any guns or nothing, but the feeling I had I was going to be murdered that night. Mick, I don't think they knew Mick was coming, and I think that's why they never shot me. They never pulled the gun out, obviously, and I still acted up to them. One of them was the instigator who robbed me, but I will say this, the boys that these guys called were good blokes, and they knew me. And when I rocked up, they realised it was me, and we talked it out. But the actual shop fitters themselves, I believe, G'd these boys up to possibly kill me and take the money that they owed me. It was about 220 grand. I know it's not a lot of money, but Mick had invested this money on my word, and these people tried to rip me off. I think they thought I'm a retired gangster, I'm not going to do nothing about it. Foolish they are. Mick's a witness to this. When I rocked up, I don't think they anticipated Mick to be with me, and I don't think they anticipated killing two of us. But I will say this, there was no threats done, there was no guns pulled. I'm telling you what I felt, how it was going to go down. When I rocked up, the main guy out of that little crew that they had called, when he seen me, he was taken back a little bit because he was a childhood friend of mine, back when we used to be notorious. He was one of the few Arabs that was in the crew. He straight away walked up, you seen, hugged me and hugged onto me, goes, bro, I fucking didn't even know it was you coming. From that, I knew nothing was going to happen anyway, but I believe that it could have, let's see this button. But I'm doing a podcast, I'll call you back. I love you, I'm in the middle of a podcast, I'll call you not once I'm done. Alright. I'll give you a call, yalla. Bye. Love that cunt. He's a funny cunt. I haven't been seeing him that much lately.
We actually haven't seen him since like
He's
Melbourne.
work, bro.
He's doing well, eh? Bugs bins or whatever. That's right. If you need to skip in, call Bugs.
If you need to skip in, call Bugs.
Exactly.
There you go. Back to what I was saying. So I rock up. I felt they were going to kill me. I turned to Mick and I said to Mick, because we're in a dark fucking park, mate. I tell you, it's easy to sit in scenarios and visualize it. I'm telling you now, I looked at Mick and I said to him, you go. He goes, what do you mean? I said, bro, you go. Because I thought if they do shoot me, at least Mick can tell my brother who it was, and my brother can deal with them. All credit to him, he didn't leave me. He's fucking stood there with me. And I couldn't debate it with him because I had to focus on these guys. So I turned back to these guys, had to stand my ground even though I felt that it was a planned killing. Never proved it, but I believe, and I believe that the boys they called weren't aware. I don't know, maybe it's my paranoid thinking because there was no threats done, there was no guns pulled, there was nothing like that. I just personally feel that the shop fitters that took my money were trying to kill me. And then the police ended up raiding my house and basically raided my house and were blaming me. They said that I was making threats, which I was not making no threats. But believe it or not, I was the victim in this situation where my money was taken. I got lured to a park. Not lured, but anyway, as I say, there was no guns pulled, there was no violence, there was no threats. But anyway, I believe if I wasn't the man I was, they would have either tried to kill me or rip me off for the money. Not the boys that were there, the actual shop fitters, the ones that were portraying themselves to be legitimate businessmen, but they ended up being scumbags. I'm not going to name and shame them because at the end of the day, the guy that got involved, that is my friend, out of respect for him, I'm not going to name and shame these pieces of shits that were doing my shop. So I'm not going to name and shame them for that reason. But you know, let's move on. I was trying to explain to you how life and friendships are bond. The bond I got with Mick, it was always there, but I bonded more when Mick said to me, bro, I'm not fucking leaving you, fucking whatever they're going to do, we're going to do. Because I was unarmed, you know what I mean? But thankfully, no one pulled out a gun. I think they seen the body language, they were going to have to kill me. I wasn't going to run, I wasn't going to buckle. And keep in mind, when I pulled up to the side of the street where the park was, I seen all of them there. I could have very easily left, but I'm not a coward, so I jumped out of the car and faced all of them. Like I pulled up and I seen all the shadows. I'm not fucking silly. I could see around there through the fog, and I could see it was about 12, 13 guys with hoodies on and sitting in the middle of the park. But I got out of the car and walked up to them. It could have been a scare tactic on their end. They were trying to scare me. I don't know, but faced them. One of them ended up being a good bloke. Sorted it out. He got the money sorted. Everything was paid. Everything was done. But that's why my bond reviews bonded, because that day I said, I looked at you. Actually, no, it wasn't when I was in the park I said it to you. It was before I jumped out of the car.
Yeah, I saw that out.
Yeah, it was before I opened the car door. I seen him. I looked back. I said, "You go." And I jumped out, closed the door, and then Mick jumped out of the car. He goes, "What, fucking leaving?" or something like that. Jumped straight out, walked up with me, and yeah, it could have ended very badly, but yeah, it didn't. And then nothing happened. But I just feel that that shot fitter was planning to kill me. But I can't prove it. As I say, there was no violence, no threats, no nothing. But
I think
he ended up going to the police. I don't know if he went to the police, but the police kicked my fucking door in 2 days later.
Right.
Believe it or not, they kicked my fucking door and put my house upside down and treated me as if I was the villain. When all I was doing is simply calling these people, telling them where's my fucking money. But that's the world we live in, but it's all done and dusted now. But I almost turned into a gangster, because if they didn't return the money, fuck, I was going to have to do what I was going to do, 110%. You know what I mean? And I'm going to answer another question that's been put to me on my questions, actually. They keep asking me, how do I deal with people that take your money for investments?
I had the same thing.
Yeah,
Literally, I promised the next question I'm going to say, since we're talking about business, investments, shop fitting,
what did you get asked?
everything like that, I got asked, have you ever had anybody that's invested with you, built the business up,
And run off.
and run off with,
Yeah.
with the money, and then further to that, what have you done,
I'll tell you.
and what would you do?
Let's forget about the shop fitters. That's done and dusted. Out of respect for the bloke that got involved, just squash it. I'm not going to name them. I'm not going to name who they are, but let me tell you about what you just said. What people are asking me, how they deal with it. Should they kill people's families? Should they do this and that? I say this. No. I do business like this. I've had two particular guys. I invested a large amount of money with them, and they fled the country. And their family still lives in this country and still lives in the same places. And the reason is